stay fly, stay fly, stay fly.
Have you ever listed your failures? You ever listed the stuff you screwed up on?
Stay fly, stay fly, stay fly.
I know, that's deep, right? Why would I do such a thing, right?
You're listening to The Fly Guy Show. They do everything on the fly and in such a fly manner. Stay fly, stay fly, stay fly, stay fly.
All that party. The views expressed on The Fly Guy Podcast by the guests of The Fly Guy Podcast are only the views of the guests, unless we say we agree, unless explicitly stated.
Hey, this is Ernie Thomas here on the Bold School Podcast. You're listening to Psycho Vonner's Fly Guy Podcast. Support, like, subscribe, and share. He's saying some good things. Share it. Don't keep it to yourself.
Coming up next is a gentleman who has a really strong story to share. I'll start off by saying I trust this guy with my life, my financial life. He has all my retirement money. And it's growing. It's been growing. It grew so much that my skeptical wife placed all her money with him. So if he messes up, he's getting shot. Ladies and gentlemen, my mentor, Mr. John Epting.
Yeah, if you guys know Rhonda, you don't want to mess with Rhonda. So don't worry. We're going to do all that we can to get that money to grow. How are you guys this evening? You know, my name's John Epting. I've known Seiko for a number of years, and he's always asking me to come out and do things. I'm kind of a private guy. I kind of like to live a quiet life and don't want to be involved in stuff. But over the last few years, because of him and some of his colleagues, they've pushed me out there a little bit. I'm originally from the south side of Chicago, and I'm not originally from here. All right. Yeah, let's not tell nobody, right? I'm originally from the south side of Chicago. I was born and raised in Chicago for the first 16 years of my life, and then we moved to Nebraska. And yes, there's black people in Nebraska. You don't have to look at me like that. It's about 21 of us there. I'm joking. But I finished high school, and I was an athlete in high school. But instead of me going on to play in college and then pro, I joined the United States Navy, and that's how I got to this area. So I served in the United States Navy for 10 and a half years. I had a great career. I did some incredibly cool stuff. We're not going to talk about that today, but maybe I will, because we were talking about history. We're talking about history. And the thing I want to give to you, I totally agree with my man Gene over here. Gene is actually a brother of mine in church. We serve at the same church together, and so I've known him for a number of years. I'm just so proud of him. Felt really cool to walk in here and see him as one of the speakers today. And I remember when he wrote his first book, and now I'm looking forward to the second one because it's on its way. Was I not supposed to plug that? I got the mic. I get to do whatever I want now, right? So, really great guy. Today I run a financial firm. I got introduced to financial services about 18 years ago. Actually, Saturday was my 18-year anniversary. I run a World Financial Group, Trans-America Financial Advisor Agency. So we have about 6 offices in this area. My office is in Town Center, Virginia Beach. But I just got recruited into it because I wanted to learn money. But tonight's not me to talk about that. Today, we want to talk about history. And Eugene was right. You do have to embrace struggle. You know, some years ago, and my wife and a few of my mentors are the ones that helped me get over this. One of the things I learned in life is my successes impress people, but my failures impact them. So years ago, I actually started writing something. In our world today, we live in a world where everybody likes to talk about what they did good. Is that true?
Right.
Matter of fact, how many of you guys have ever done a resume? Especially the older people in here. You've all done a resume before. You ever, even though some of y'all be lying on them, right? Isn't it true, right, that we're boosting up all the stuff we did right? Is that true? Well, believe it or not, a few years ago, thanks to a friend of mine, I started writing something called a failure resume. Yeah, a failure resume. Have you ever listed your failures? You ever listed the stuff you screwed up on? I know, that's deep, right? Why would I do such a thing, right? Next thing you know, you depressed. And then you got to call a friend, right? Well, no, I really did this. Let me tell you why I did it. I believe life isn't about what happens to you. It's about how you react to it. I think it's based off of how you respond to it. I've been through some challenges. Several. I'm not going to get into what he's thinking I'm going to bring up, but I've been through some challenges. My naval career was pretty cool, but it took a toll on my first marriage. So therefore, that one didn't work out. In my mind, that's a failure. Today, I have probably the best marriage on the planet. How? The reaction of the first one. I could have went into the next one with the same bad habits, couldn't I? With the same mindset, if you will. You know, we always talk about how knowledge is power. How many of you guys heard that before? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you've actually heard knowledge is power, right? How many of you guys agree with it? Like you agree? Raise your hand, like keep your hand up, like lock your elbow. See how my elbow lock? Right? I want to make sure all right, cool. Check this out. You've been bamboozled. Hoodwinked. No. Knowledge is not power. Only applied knowledge is power. You got to do something with it. True or false?
True.
Right? There's a bunch of broke people walking around with college degrees. True or false? I'm sorry. I wasn't supposed to say that.
You say it.
Shouldn't have gave me the mic. I'm saying he know who I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm not politically correct. I ain't running for office either, so don't ask me to be. Right? I ain't David. I'm coming here to give it to you real. Because if somebody doesn't speak to us real about these things, we'll go on believing falsehoods. So I learned years ago. I'll give you some of it. I was held back in 5th grade. Yeah, I repeated 5th grade twice. I was held back in 12th grade. I've had a failed marriage. I've lost a home. I've lost a car. Unfortunately, I've also lost 2 children. An infant son in 2001. Wasn't even supposed to be here. My 20-year-old wife had a stillbirth 3 days after I was supposed to be gone with SEAL Team 8. Thank God I was still here. And then I lost a 5-year-old daughter a few years ago. March 30th will be the 7-year anniversary of her leaving us. What year is this? 2019, right? Carry the one. Yeah, 7 years ago. Right? How many of you guys have been through some stuff? My stuff sound different, don't it? You hear how I said it? I didn't say it sound worse. It's just different. You got to go through your stuff. I got to go through mine. Right? Right. My stuff isn't worse than yours. It's just stuff. Why do I say it that way? Because you have to respond to it correctly. So I started writing a failure resume. Let me tell you where I'm going. I started writing down the stuff I messed up on. And I noticed that the ones that I respond correctly to, a blessing happened therefore after. Because for every seed of adversity, there's a benefit equal to or greater than that adversity if you look for it. I'll say that again. For every adversity that you face, there's a seed of benefit equal to or greater than the adversity if you look for it. Even from losing my child. My wife and I made a decision and a precision that we were going to look at that a certain way. And we were still going to give God glory whether he took her or he allowed us to keep her, because she wasn't ours anyway. We were merely stewards of her. So I can't be mad that he came back and got his child. So I respond to it correctly, and a seed of, actually I'm still reaping the fruits of that benefit because we look for it. I was held back in 5th grade. Now, of course, that sucks. When you're in 5th grade, you don't think about that, okay? I was held back in 12th grade, okay. That sucked too, right? We moved to Nebraska. They don't count my freshman year credits in Nebraska. Okay, that sucked, right? It took me a long time to find the seed of benefit. You understand? like a decade or more, right? But normally if you catch the seed of benefit, there's a blessing right behind. Something great is coming. I also listed some failures and I didn't respond to them correctly. And I had to pay for that for 3 years in the one I'm thinking about. For 3 years I struggled, still bitter, still upset, still pointing the finger. So I learned some lessons in my life. One, life isn't about what happens to you. It's about how you react to it. 2, golden fold, right? Is that right? That's what this is? Golden fold. All right, that sounds like a leadership program. Okay. A couple rules in leadership. Leadership is influence. And the first rule of leadership is everything's your fault. If you take responsibility, you have an opportunity to change it. If you point the finger, now you're waiting on somebody else to change. That sounds like slavery to me. And too many people die for me to be free. So I never allow any, in my family, in my house, I'm the priest, prophet, protector, and provider. First rule of leadership is my fault. Everything, I make final decision. Love my wife. She's the CFO of my company. I'm still taking the responsibility. And because I live like that, everybody around me is free for me to make those decisions because they know I'm going to take the responsibility. When everything's go right, high five all around. Man, we made a great decision. It was awesome. We did it. Man, that was beast. When everything goes wrong, when things go right, I give it to them. Things go wrong, I take the responsibility. Why? Because everything is my fault. Does that make sense? Last but not least, my man was talking about figuring out what you want, because I need to talk to these young people. You got to figure out what you want. The reason I get to live my life now, and I've done okay. You know, we've done okay. Okay. And I run a pretty successful, but I believe more important than successful, significant organization. Right? I have great people. Actually, one of them's sitting over here. It's a couple of clients of mine in this room. Years ago, I figured out what I wanted, why I wanted it, and what I was willing to do and sacrifice to get it. I pose those questions to you. I believe one of the top 5 reasons people don't succeed or get to where they want to be in life is they haven't figured out what they want. I'm not talking about loose stuff. You know how people every year say, I'm going to lose weight? That's loose. How much weight? I want to make more money. I flip a nickel to you, your prayer just got answered. You see what you got to be clear on what you want. Some years ago, I got very clear on what I want, why I want it. You got to know the why too. Because as soon as a tough time comes, matter of fact, as soon as you decide you want to go do something, I promise you the adversary is going to come after you. I promise you, like I know that I'm standing here, that a bunch of dream stealers or many dream stealers in many, many forms in what I call the adversary is going to attack you and attack that dream in very real, rational, productive ways and make every absolute effort to steal your dream. They come in the form of people who love you. Your wife, your parents, a good friend who's trust me, their intentions are good. All right? But see, if you figure out what you want, you figure out why you want it. And then you calculate, am I willing to pay the price to go get that? Whatever it is. Hopefully it's not money, right? I believe money is a byproduct of who you become. You need to become a better person. You want to make more money. You need to position yourself better to make more money. Right? He just started hanging around me and gave me some money and I started growing it, but I had to hang around some other people who didn't think like the Southside Chicago kid. Does that make sense? The only difference between rich people and poor people is the way they think. It's not money. I know many people think it's money. It's not money. Fair? Right? But you got to figure those things out. If you figure those things out, track your life in that way. But from here on out, from this day forward, always look at the benefit. There's a blessing in every challenge. You just got to look for it. And it takes a minute. Right? And sometimes you got to get in a quiet place around your non-negative friends. Right? Good luck with that. All right? No, seriously. Sometimes you don't even know your friend's negative because you're around them all the time. You negative too. Get away from them for a little while, then you go back to them. You realize how negative they are. Right? How much they bring us down sometimes. Sometimes you got to get out of your own circle and create new circles. Right? But just remember that life isn't about what happens to you. It's about how you react to it. Because life doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. All right? I wish you guys the best. God bless you.
All right. Life doesn't happen to you. Life doesn't happen to you. Life doesn't happen to you. All right. All right. Give it up for John Epting.
Stay fly. Stay fly.
The views expressed on the Fly Guy podcast by the guests of the Fly Guy podcast are only the views of the guests, unless we say we agree, unless explicitly stated. Stay conscious. Stay fly.
Stay fly. Stay fly. Stay fly. Stay fly. Stay fly. Stay fly. Stay fly. Stay fly.